Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword, one mistake, and it's over. This isn't just chess, it's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Magnus Carlsen opens with e4, pushing the king-pawn boldly into the center, immediately claiming space and inviting Wesley So into a classical confrontation. Wesley So replies with e5, matching Magnus Carlsen head-on, staking equal central ground, and signaling a balanced yet combative opening from the start. Magnus Carlsen develops n3, attacking the f5 pawn directly and accelerating piece activity toward the heart of Wesley So's position. Wesley So answers n6, calmly defending the pawn while developing a knight that supports central tension and future counterplay. Magnus Carlsen plays bc4, the bishop slicing toward f7, quietly threatening tactics and forcing Wesley So to stay alert early. Wesley So responds with bc5, mirroring development, controlling key diagonals, and neutralizing immediate attacking ideas from Magnus Carlsen. Magnus Carlsen castles 0-0, securing his king quickly and connecting rooks, clearly preparing for a long strategic battle. Wesley So castles 0-0 as well, prioritizing king safety and completing basic development with steady confidence. Magnus Carlsen plays d3, reinforcing the center flexibly and keeping multiple pawn structures and attacking plans available. Wesley So replies d6, building a solid pawn chain and slightly restraining White's central expansion. Magnus Carlsen advances c3, supporting a future d4 break and strengthening his central foothold methodically. Wesley So plays a6, a quiet prophylactic move, preventing piece jumps and hinting at queenside expansion later. Magnus Carlsen retreats bb3, preserving the active bishop and maintaining latent pressure on the weakened f7 square. Wesley So centralizes a rook with re8, reinforcing f5 and preparing for potential central breaks. Magnus Carlsen plays h3, creating luft for the king and denying any annoying pins or back-rank tactics. Wesley So mirrors with h6, controlling g5 and ensuring long-term kingside stability. Magnus Carlsen develops nbd2, improving coordination and preparing flexible knight reroutes toward key central squares. Wesley So challenges immediately with b6, contesting the bishop and fighting for central influence. Magnus Carlsen reroutes nf1a, a deep maneuver aiming to reinforce g3 or e3 for future attacking chances. Wesley So exchanges with bxb3, reducing attacking pieces and slightly simplifying the position on his terms. Magnus Carlsen recaptures qxb3, centralizing the queen while keeping material balance and pressure intact. Wesley So strikes with d5, a principled central break, opening lines and testing White's pawn structure. Magnus Carlsen responds b3, developing actively, hitting the central diagonal and stabilizing key squares. Wesley So retreats b5, preserving the bishop and reinforcing the kingside defensively. Magnus Carlsen places radone, activating the rook onto the open file and increasing central pressure. Wesley So jumps na5, gaining tempo by attacking the queen and seizing queenside space. Magnus Carlsen calmly retreats qc2, maintaining coordination and eyeing potential kingside operations. Wesley So pushes c5, expanding on the queenside and challenging white's central influence. Magnus Carlsen captures x5, opening the center deliberately to clarify the position tactically. Wesley So recaptures qe5, placing the queen actively in the center and increasing pressure. Magnus Carlsen develops bd2, connecting rooks and preparing smoother coordination for the middle game. Wesley So retreats n6, regrouping the knight and reinforcing central control calmly. Magnus Carlsen jumps na3, attacking central squares and hinting at potential tactical ideas. Wesley So plays key7, stepping out of danger while keeping pieces harmonized. Magnus Carlsen advances nc4, improving knight activity and probing weaknesses on the queenside. Wesley So repositions qs7, supporting queenside pawns and maintaining flexible central pressure. Magnus Carlsen pushes a4, fixing the queenside structure and limiting black's pawn expansion options. Wesley So responds b5, boldly grabbing space and challenging white's queenside grip. Magnus Carlsen captures axb5, opening files and attempting to undermine black's advancing pawn chain. Wesley So recaptures axb5, maintaining material equality and opening the a-file for rook activity. Magnus Carlsen retreats now3, rerouting the knight toward more active squares. Wesley So plays qb7, eyeing long diagonals and subtly increasing pressure on the kingside. Magnus Carlsen strikes with c4, locking the queenside and gaining space as the middlegame tension fully ignites. Wesley So pushes b4, slamming the queenside forward, cramping Magnus Carlsen's pieces and turning spatial pressure into a concrete territorial grip. Magnus Carlsen jumps nb5, planting the knight aggressively, attacking 7 and 6 while daring Wesley So to resolve the tension. Wesley So responds rad8, activating the rook to the open file and firmly contesting central and queenside control. Magnus Carlsen plays ra1, sliding the rook defensively, preparing lateral defense and potential counterplay along the a-file. Wesley So repositions qd7, calmly reinforcing coordination and keeping tactical threats under strict control. Magnus Carlsen boldly lifts ra6, an intrusive rook move, poking at black structure and provoking sharp complications. Wesley So counters with re6, a cold defensive resource, blocking lines and preparing a swift central counterstrike. Magnus Carlsen centralizes qua4, eyeing diagonals and weak points, pushing initiative despite growing danger. Wesley So strikes qxd3, a tactical pawn grab, hitting the center and exposing Magnus Carlsen's king position. Magnus Carlsen sacrifices with bxx6, tearing open the kingside, gambling material for attacking momentum. Wesley So accepts gxxx, taking the bishop without fear, trusting concrete calculation over king safety optics. Magnus Carlsen jumps nc7. Forking threats appear, pressure mounting as tactics explode across the board. Wesley So calmly inserts end4, a powerful block, cutting attacking lines and challenging white's coordination. Magnus Carlsen captures next 4, removing the central defender and desperately keeping attacking hopes alive. Wesley So responds Rx6, counter-attacking mercilessly, eliminating the advanced rook and seizing momentum. Magnus Carlsen recaptures Q8-Rex, restoring material, but leaving his queen exposed and position increasingly fragile. Wesley So plays RD6, rook centralized with authority, hitting the queen and tightening strategic control. Magnus Carlsen jumps N6, creating threats and complications, refusing to go quietly into defense. Wesley So slides G5, queen aggressively placed, coordinating threats and eyeing decisive counterplay. Magnus Carlsen hops ND5, a strong outpost, attacking key squares and forcing precise defense. Wesley So retreats Q6, neutralizing threats and maintaining a rock-solid structure. Magnus Carlsen snatches K8, grabbing material and clinging to counterplay chances. Wesley So answers Rx6, a crushing exchange, removing the dangerous knight and breaking white's resistance. Magnus Carlsen lifts Re3, swinging the rook toward the king side, one last attacking push. Wesley So calmly plays N8, consolidating defenses and extinguishing tactical fires. Magnus Carlsen launches RD, delivering check and forcing the king to react under pressure. Wesley So steps K7, composed and fearless, sidestepping danger with total confidence. Magnus Carlsen doubles with Rf3, piling pressure and searching for cracks in black's armor. Wesley So counters E4, a central break, opening lines and flipping defense into attack instantly. Magnus Carlsen retreats F4, trying to hold lines while staying active defensively. Wesley So plays Ra6, rook active again, attacking the queen and dictating the tempo. Magnus Carlsen sacrifices Rx7, a desperate strike, forcing exchanges in a last stand. Wesley So responds Qess, coolly extinguishing the attack and keeping full control. Magnus Carlsen grabs Q8-Rex, collecting material but standing on the edge tactically. Wesley So develops BG7, calmly consolidating and preparing the final squeeze. Magnus Carlsen centralizes Key-CA, fishing for perpetual checks or tactical tricks. Wesley So answers BD4, a precise intermezzo, blocking checks and dominating key squares. Magnus Carlsen steps Kart U, king retreating as options rapidly disappear. Wesley So repositions Eng7, regrouping smoothly and sealing the net. Magnus Carlsen plays Ne3, a final defensive attempt to block lines. Wesley So plays Eng7, calmly regrouping the knight, sealing key dark squares and tightening the strategic net around Magnus Carlsen's king. Magnus Carlsen answers with Near-3, a last defensive regroup, trying to block lines and keep faint counterplay alive under heavy pressure. Wesley So delivers Chiafuri, a precise and crushing check, coordinating queen and pieces perfectly as the position becomes completely lost for white. At move 86, the game is lost because the position is completely hopeless. Wesley So has overwhelming material advantage and a forced conversion, leaving no defense or counterplay.